With the set coming to an end, it's time to make that end of season ranked push. This comp is both highly effective and easy to play. Let's break down EMO Vex. To start the early game, your main concern is to play a solid early board with Guardian frontline. If possible, you'd like to get 2 Punk ASAP. The best units for this are Pantheon and Twitch, but Vi plus Jinx can work as a substitute. Twitch will hold any AD items you get, but if you start with AP items, then try to be flexible with your carry. Nami, Annie, Katarina, Bard, and Senna all work as AP early carries. If you go with Annie, just remember to hold an extra copy on bench so you can swap items to Vex later. Now in the mid game, you want to get to level 7 ASAP. Normally when playing Punk, you'd use the 1-cost roll every turn, but in this case, we want to wait until at least level 6 or 7. You'll lose out on stats on Twitch and Pantheon, but ideally, they won't be your main carries, so it doesn't hurt too much. Instead, you want to get the best odds to find Vex and Amumu, as they will be the main carries. By level 7, this will be your main board. You want to slow roll at level 7 for Vex, Amumu, Pantheon, and Twitch. It's crucial to get an EMO headliner if you plan to play for 6 EMO, which is the best version of this comp. If you get an Executioner headliner, that's okay too, but you'll only end up with 2 EMO as you'll need to go for 6 Executioner in the late game. This means you won't be playing Annie or Poppy later. Once you've hit your carries, it's time to push levels. The key additions are Poppy plus Yorick and Thresh over your early game Guardians. If you have at least 1 EMO emblem and an EMO headliner, you should have 6 EMO. The best emblem holders are either Yorick or Thresh. Their spells are useful for added CC and frontline to sustain. To make the emblem, you'll need a spatula and an extra tier. If you get to level 10, Ziggs or Sona can make a great addition, as Ziggs provides extra resistance shredding, and Sona gives great stats whether you choose healing or attack speed. From here, items, augments, and positioning will determine who takes first, so let's break that down. For damage items, Vex needs 1 mana item and 2 AP items. Adaptive Helm is her best choice, but Shojin or Blue Buff also work. Next, Deathcap and Morello are her 2 best AP items, while Archangel Staff and Giant Slayer are also solid options. Now with Twitch as your backup carry, Last Whisper, Deathblade, and Runan's Hurricane, as well as Guardbreaker are his best choices. But since Vex is the main focus, just build whatever you can put together. Now for tank items, you always want Ionic Spark to shred resistances. Then Redemption, Warmogs, Dragon's Claw, and Bramble are all great options to provide sustain. Now for extra items, you want to focus on utility. Static Shiv is good when you can't build Spark, and Sunfire is also great when you can't make Morello. Aside from that, any extra tank items to give to your frontline is great to buy time for Vex and Twitch to kill the enemy. Now let's talk about Augments. Golden and Prismatic Ticket are huge to guarantee your hits. When you take these, always go for as many 3 stars as possible. Return on investment is excellent to get you an extra slot because you'll be guaranteed to hit it with all of the rerolls you'll be using. Expose Weakness is great because you can skip building Spark and Last Whisper in favor of more power items. Blistering Strikes is a great pickup for similar reasons. You can skip building Anti-Heal for more power or defensive items. Big Grab Bag is perfect because this comp requires a ton of items, so this can be a huge help to get you extra best in slot items. Binary Airdrop is great to spread your items more efficiently and get huge value. This synergizes perfectly with Big Grab Bag. Cruel Pact is great because you'll be able to get to level 7 ASAP in stage 2. You won't be able to push further, so make sure to find as many 3 stars as you can. Healing Orbs provides huge sustain to the frontline, keeping them alive to buy time for Vex and Twitch. Positioning in this comp is straightforward. In the frontline, you want Amumu in the center because his ability is an AoE, which allows him to do the most damage and have the best CC. Next, Thresh should be on the same side of enemy backlines like Caitlyn, Samira, Twisted Fate, and so on. You're hoping Thresh will hook the main carry and stun them when possible. Now for your own backline, you want to avoid being hooked by enemy Threshes and being targeted by carries like Akali and Caitlyn. To avoid Thresh hooks, just position your carries on the opposite side of him. And to avoid Caitlyn and Akali ults, you want your carries to be on the same side as them. Vex should always be as close to the center as possible and next to Twitch. Her ability is an AoE stun, so being in the center gives her the best chance to do the most damage when hitting frontline. Together with Twitch, that should be able to burn them down fast. If you have 4 backliners, you can also put Twitch in the middle, but you don't usually get that chance. Next, let Annie be a bait unit for spells like Akali ult and Caitlyn ult to target her instead of your main carries. To do this, keep Annie on the opposite side of your main carries. Let Annie be a bait unit for spells like Akali ult and Caitlyn ult to target her instead of your main carries, by keeping Annie on the opposite side of them. Remember to scout every round so you always have the upper hand on your opponent. Did this guide help? Leave a comment and tell me how you do. Until next time, I'm Swagadelic.